You link with Symbolic and Symbolic One and Ill Mind, The Art of One Mind in 2005.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to S1, shout out to Illmind, who have both gone on to do such incredible things. I mean, from everybody to, you know, Jay, Beyonce, like them boys is Drake, them boys is out of there, out of there. Shout out to them. Um, it's so many people I crossed paths with early in my career that have gone on to do such amazing things, man. But I love the energy of that community, man. Like in those days, if you was dope, let's work, let's get it. That's why, I had a lot of these opportunities because it was no egos. It was just like, yo, who's making dope shit? Let's get it done.
Right. Talk a little bit about your relationship with Kev Brown, how you guys met, and how you found your placement on his album.
So Kev, that was I met him through Sean. So I mentioned how meeting Sean was crazy because I felt like I had met like the Maryland Primo. Meeting Kev, it's like I done found the Maryland Pete Rock. Like I was a fan from day one. I'm a fan now. Kev is one of, I don't want to say the, but he is one of the most talented people I've ever worked with. Um, yeah, man, there aren't enough words to express how incredibly dope that brother is, man. And I recognized early, even before, you know, he elevated his status. I knew early, like, I'm privileged to be able to stand next to him. And one thing about Kev is that he's going to make sure the crew shines. You go back to I do what I do, and if I'm not mistaken, I think every single person in Low Budget was on that album, whether it was a song or he threw you on an interlude. Like he always makes sure his people shine. So, I was fortunate enough to get down on two joints, what Say Something and Hennessy Part One. Still like two of my favorite records from my catalog. Um, and I got to be on a classic. Like respectfully, I know people throw that word around easily, but I do what I do. What are we talking about? Yeah.
No doubt. Linked up with Moonshine for Opportunity Knocks on the track Move On 2005.
Oh wow, yeah! Shout out to Moonshine. Shout out to Emilio Rojas. I always shout him out, man. Emilio is one of the guys who. There are a couple of people I cross paths with that made me elevate my game, and he's one of the guys. Like from the first record we got on, I was like, oh, he kind of helped me unlock something different with like my flow. I always give him credit for that. Like after collabing with him, like I kicked it up a notch. But yeah, but shout out to Moonshine, man. Yeah, dang, I forgot about that. Yeah, I reach out. Hope you're doing well.
No doubt. Linked up with Rax One the same year for This Is It.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Early for the Emilio fans that aren't the day ones. Back when he was sick of Rax One. Yeah, man. It was yeah, the boy been dope for a very, very long time. Shout out to him.
No doubt. Linked up with Caesar Comanche the same year for The Future.
Justice League, that's extended family right there. Anything they need, done. Easy work. Easy work. Shout out to Cesar.
Eternia, It's Called Life 2005 on The Struggle.
Yes. Shout out to Eternia. Shout out to Wordsworth. Um, I ended up on that track by happenstance. Shout out to them for being open to giving me a shot to getting on the record. Um, I filmed that was a crazy experience too. Like filming my first real video, like a real funded video with, you know, extras and makeup and like it was yeah. Shout out to Attorney. That was a such a dope experience. shooting that vid, and it's always an honor to get down on my bro words. You know what I mean?
Right. At this time, I believe it's time for your debut album. Now, did the Star Report come out before the debut, or was Star Report a couple
Yeah, Star
first?
Report. We put out the mixtape. I think earlier that year. To kind of gear up for the release of the album. Of course, I got killed for that name for the play on words with the Kenn Starr thing, but
Mm.
we all make mistakes, man. Hindsight is 2020, but yeah, Star Report, and then Star Status. Yep.
So Star Status is up, and you're up to bat. Talk a little bit about the creative process and the train of thought going into your debut album.
Um, a reoccurring theme, man. So a lot of people in the crew. Um, we had, I really had the fight to get the secure production. You know what I mean? Especially once again, I'm the baby of the crew. You know, but I think it was a blessing in disguise because it kind of put me in a position to have to reach outside of the crew. And so many dope collaborations came from it. Crisis, Young C, M Phases, like a lot of the landmark like records from my career came from me linking with a lot of these guys working on that first project. And then of course, everything still worked out. I still got, amazing contributions from the crew. Shout out to Odyssey because he was kind of like the hub, you know. Was he credited executive producer? If he wasn't, he should have been. He should have been. I can't thank him enough, man. He's been such a mentor for me out the gate. Out the gate. He was heavily involved in the recording process for Star Status. Um, but yeah, man, once again, another opportunity to prove myself. And you know how the first album is, like, you've been your whole life up to this point consolidated into this one project. Um, and it came out dope, man. I really came away from it feeling satisfied, feeling like I made the record that I wanted to make.
Right. What was those sessions like? Are we kind of nowadays everybody's mailing their vocals, mailing their production. Was this a studio situation or was the, mailing vocals and things like that going on at that time?
Yeah, most of the collabs, because we was definitely in the message board online internet era. So M Phases was in Australia at the time. Like it was definitely like, yeah, a lot of file sending, but was able to, of course, the low budget guys, we were locked in. But yeah, a lot of file sending, a lot of, yeah.
Right. At this time, what was the reception like? Write ups in magazines. What was the feedback like on the message boards as well?
Um, Really good. It gets kind of blurred over the years because it's a project that has gone on to, I think the response has it's aged well for people. I think there are people that hold it in a certain regard since it came out. Um, but at the time, man, it was just like a whirlwind. Just I barely had time to catch my breath, just being so amazed at some of the people I was able to work with. I mentioned having like pages from the source up on my wall, bro. I could have shed real tears like when I made it into the Source magazine.
Right.
Like and before it went to shit, like before when it still meant something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like just incredible, man. Like regardless of how my career played out, I can 1000% say I lived my dream. And that is such a blessing because not everybody is able to say that, you
Right.
know, just incredible, incredible.
Were you able to tour off that album?
Nah, I was always one foot in, one foot out.
Mm,
Probably one of my biggest regrets, but I think I got like my first real job like 3 months before Star Status came out, you
mm,
know, and I wasn't trying to hear nothing like having a consistent paycheck. I wasn't trying to hear nothing about trying to take no leave or apps. Like, yo, I got a job, bro. Like, catch me
right.
on the weekends. We could do a little 3 day weekend thing, but so I did not. I've never done a proper tour. Maybe a string of spot dates, but I've never done a proper tour. Um, haven't been overseas. Yeah, man, just 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I never really 100% like, and it's crazy to think like, because I'm sitting here talking about how, I'm actually making the moves I need to make, and everything seems so feasible. But I guess just that fear, the unknown, even with everything I had accomplished up to that point, I still couldn't help myself in terms of playing it safe. So
Right.
yeah.
So at this time, what happens with the deal with Half Tooth? Was it initially just for a one album deal?
What happened with Half Tooth? You know what? I honestly don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I think the label just kind of like dissolved at a certain point. The time frame is kind of blurred to me, but everything on good terms from what I can remember. Uh, yeah, yeah. But it was a one and done. I didn't get a chance to put anything else out with him.
Right. You stayed busy. You appeared on Odyssey's Price to Pay and In Check in 2006.
Shout out to Odyssey, Crew Love. You know what I'm saying? Make sure his brother get a platform. I always appreciate it. He definitely threw me more than a few alley oops over the years.
Right.
Always good to sharpen the blade with Big Bro.
What do you remember most about being reached out to by Marco Polo?
Just it's almost everything that has happened is humbling. Anytime somebody reaches out for yo, when I got the correspondence from you, I'm like, bro, that's so dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to take time out of your day to speak to me like that. That every collab, like, it's just surreal, man. Like, oh, you see me, hold me in such a regard that you would want to collab and work. I'm just appreciative, man. Appreciative. Trying to put my best foot forward. You
Right.
know.
What was that session like for Low Budget All Stars?
Pieces. Yo, shout out to Marco Polo. I think he got the most low budget members on a record before any of us did. And when I tell you he was a patient man, like that record had to have taken months,
Mm,
months to get done, getting everybody's verses in. But he got it done. Shout out to him, man. Pulled
right.
out off the impossible.
So how did you end up signing over with Mellow Music Group?
Once again, Odyssey. Odyssey was working with him, and same situation. Walked me through the door. Like, Kenn Starr, you already know the pedigree. Like, I think this would be a good move, and they agreed, man. So that was dope. There's a recurring theme of like me being able to get in on the ground level with a lot of people that have gone on to do such amazing things, man. It always made me feel like I was on the right path. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, I don't want to overlook anything in your personal life, anything going on personally with you between 2006 and 2009 outside of music that the fans may want to know.
When I went MIA, just regular life. No, but honestly, another one of the biggest detriments to my career is just my creative process can be debilitating, man. There are so many projects that got started that didn't come to fruition. So many false starts. And I think one of the biggest things is the lack of output. I think that really could have changed the trajectory, especially as during the time that I was out, things really became more and more about output. It's
Right.
something to be said for quality, but you got to maintain that visibility, and that was always a struggle for me. But just really having difficulty getting out of my own way, man. Just trying to make everything perfect and fine tuning and tweaking, and it's like, yo, just put the music out, man. If I could go back, hot tub time machine, I'd be slap myself back of the head like, yo, bro, just put the music out, please. It's not that serious, you know, for real.
What do you remember most about the creative process going into It's Still Real 2009?
It's still real. That was more so just kind of that I've been quiet for a while. I need to let people know that I'm still active, that I'm still on point. I'm not even sure. That was more so like a patchwork, a lot of the features. I wanted to get a lot of the features in one place. Some of the records that didn't have a home on proper albums. So it was less of a go in, create this project, more so like let me put this together so I can have something to get to the people.
Right. You remember the feedback on that when it dropped?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Do you remember the feedback you got at that time, the reception when that dropped?
Um, I mean, nothing major. People who rock with me rock with me. That wasn't like one of the projects that was like, yo, this is crazy. It was like, I think given the nature of the project, like I said, with it being a lot of features and B sides and stuff like that, it was just like dope content. I mean,
Right. I believe there was a 6 or so year gap in between that one and the follow up Square One. What was going on in between that time?
it sounds so bad when you say it out loud when you put the timestamp on it. Man. Square One went through a lot of different it went through a lot of different changes. Initially, I was supposed to do an EP with Black Milk.
Mm,
Um, that did not come to fruition. That kind of fell through, and it just turned into. I had different concepts for what to turn the project into, and then I decided to just make it my next solo album, which kind of reset things again because I have a different vision for what I want a Kenn Starr album to be, and just once again, man, my creative process, and it's crazy. It's crazy to look back and see the amount of time that passes. Just a couple of factors here and there can turn into what feels like a lifetime in terms of like putting out music. Um, but yeah, Square One was definitely a labor of love. A lot of those years was spent making Square One. There's probably like three different versions of that album, low key, high key.
right.